Alright, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you all my favorite detailing products for this detailing season. I bought a brand new Tesla Model Y, I brought it in, I did a full-blown decontamination, a polish, ceramic coating, the paint, the wheels, the interior, the glass. We did it all, and I'll tell you what, it turned out unbelievable. I'll have links to all these products down in the description. Another thing I wanted to mention was I reach out to all these companies and I ask them to give you guys a discount. Almost everything up here, you can get 10% off with Hawaii Detailing, and that's going to help you guys out. I like to offset that shipping. I know people don't want to pay shipping. Also, over on my website, I'll have links to everything. This is a long one, so grab a seat and enjoy watching me take this car from brand new to better than new. So every good decontamination process starts with those wheels and tires. We got to get those super clean, super raw, get everything off that the dealership sprayed on them or that you've put on them in the past, and get it down to pretty much bare paint, bare rubber, so that these products we're going to put on later are going to stick. That ceramic coating needs some good prep. We'll be using the bucket dolly, all my favorite brushes, towels. Man, my favorite wheel cleaner right now. This is an iron remover and a wheel cleaner all in one, and it smells nice too. And a good tire and rubber cleaner. We want to get those nice and raw because we're going to be putting a longer duration tire dressing on there as well. So it's not going to clean itself. Let's get started. Now it's time for the wash process. We're going to be doing two different types of washes today. One, a decontamination wash. Now, depending on the condition of your paint and what it's been exposed to, there could be more levels to this, including an iron remover, maybe clay towel, so forth and so on, that I'm not going to be doing today. My car only had less than 100 miles on it. It's fresh from the factory. It's only a few months old. So it just didn't have that level of contamination. If you want more education on that, come on over to my website, hawaiidetailing.com, and I dive a little deeper into that. Today we're just going to be using a high pH soap it's a Decon soap from Armor, and this stuff works amazing. We're going to be putting it through the MJJC Pro Foam Cannon, my all-time favorite. It works great. It gives you no trouble whatsoever, and it produces that thick foam that we all like. Once we get that on, we're going to spray it down with the almighty Krenzla. Now, you guys know there's nothing out there like this. For some reason, people tend to hate on it, but I got to be honest, it's just because you haven't tried it yet, or you have other reasons for it. But that is an unbelievable machine. I have most of them in here, and I'll tell you, I stand behind that. Once we get that all washed down, then we're going to come back behind DIY Details Incredible Suds. This stuff, matter of fact, man, that smells good. Grape Kool-Aid all the way. It puts out really nice, thick foam, good lubrication on the surface. That's going to enable us to follow behind with our wash mitt and really get that agitated, get everything off the paint with no risk whatsoever of marring or scratching. We'll be pushing that through the MJJC S version 3, just because I have it here and I like that one too. Once we get that done, we'll go ahead and use the drying towel. This is my favorite. This is big. It'll do an entire SUV without even having to wring it out, which I really like. That's awesome. And it actually works better the wetter it gets. When you first start, it'll drag it around a little bit. Once it starts grabbing some water, then it really dries well. And some people would ask, why don't you just use the leaf blower? I will be using the leaf blower to blow out those door handles and around the trims because we don't want any drips of water coming down on the process later. But it's pretty ineffective once you strip all the sealants and protection off your paint. That water beading and sheeting that those protectants provide is what enables this to blow it right off the paint. Without it, it's sticky, it's messy. Just use a drying towel at that point. But let's get washing. An often overlooked process is taping off the vehicle properly, getting those door handles taped, all the trim pieces, all the plastics. We don't want the polisher touching anything and damaging the surfaces. Not only that, but we don't want polish slinging up onto it, making just more work for us later trying to get it off. And I recommend using a high quality specialized tape that's going to be super easy to use. It's going to basically remove very easily with no residue left behind. It comes in multiple sizes, wide, medium, thin, depending on the jobs that you have. You can see that I tore through almost a whole roll on this car alone. It's well worth the extra money. Some might be asking, why not use the Home Depot stuff? This is great for in-house paint trims, interior in your home, but it could leave residue behind. And some might argue, nah, it really doesn't. I've used it a bunch. But when it comes to me putting in all this work on the vehicle, I want to use the stuff that's going to be the least possibility of going wrong for me. And I think that this is going to do it. It pulls off easy, and you can just feel immediately there's nothing left behind. Man, it's money well spent. Now that we got the car fully decontaminated, it's time to get back to those wheels. I want to get that ceramic coating on there. People do this in a different order, paint first, wheels first. It doesn't matter really with the ceramic coating. I chose to go with the wheels first today. We're going to be applying the Armor wheel ceramic coating, high temperature. This stuff is insane. I've seen a bunch of different products, and this is the winner by far. I'll show you all my favorite towels I use. It's going to be a full wheels off detail. Use proper tools, man. Don't be down there with a ratchet and a pair of pliers trying to get your wheels off. You'll see this thing in full action here. It works unbelievable. We're going to be using the Rupes polisher, and you'll see today that the winner, rinseless wash. I use this all across the boards non-stop as a great cleaning product. Doesn't leave anything behind, and I like that a lot. The gold standard polish is going to be a real gem also. Then we'll be panel prepping. Man, I've used a lot of panel preps. This stuff goes on easy, wipes off, fully streak free, and smells amazing too. Next, we'll be using the Amplify. You'll see that with the Amplify, that the whole point of it is to take it from freshly applied ceramic coating, spray to Amplify on there, puts a protective barrier to get you from fresh application all the way over to curing with a little something there to protect it. Not necessary, but I have some. Why not? Then we're going to come back with my favorite long-term tire durability product, and we're going to put that on, and you're going to see these wheels and tires are going to look amazing. Let's get started on them. One of the trickiest parts in detailing is the glass. How do you get it gleaming, crystal clear, no streaks, looking amazing? I'll tell you what, with the right tools and the right processes, you can do it quite easily. But this car driving home from the dealer, I was looking out the window like, oh man, this is going to be incredibly difficult to get clean. I don't know what's on there. I mean, everything from manufacturing products that they use to place it in there and products that they sprayed on it at the dealership. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, when I first started the process, I tried to go in easy and I had to step it up. And I always recommend that with all processes. Start with the least aggressive and work your way up unless you know you need to skip ahead and get to the aggressive stuff. But in this case, I threw everything but the kitchen sink at it, and my pain is your gain. I'm going to show you how to get the worst case scenario back to gleaming and beautiful. And I'll tell you what, I used everything from rinseless washes to water spot removers, polisher, the reach tool. That's great for getting up into those tight areas. Clay towel. I mean, I did everything, and you're going to get to see it. Let's get started. All right, finally, we're getting to the point where we're into the fun stuff. We're going to start polishing. Let's talk a little bit about polishing before we even get started. Depending on the condition of your paint, you may end up with a wool cutting pad, which is going to actually take some clear coat off of the car. Be careful. Don't just sit there grinding down into it. You have to have reasonable expectations of what you're trying to accomplish. This is going to leave the clear coat hazy when you're done. It's not going to be finished product. You're going to have to come back behind with a second stage, a finer pad that's going to jewel it. It's going to clear that haze off the clear coat that was left behind with the wool pad, and it's going to bring it to that luster. So it's going to be a full 2-stage process. Today, the Tesla paint, it was in really good condition. There was a few little minor scratches on it that I had to work on a little bit, but overall, my only goal with this was just to make that clear coat as absolute clear and transparent as possible, and to just make it shine like crazy. So I'll be using just a jeweling pad. I'm also going to be using the DIY Detail Gold Standard Polish. I've really come to love this stuff. It smells good. You know I like good smelling stuff. Also, it goes on buttery smooth. A little goes a long way, and you just don't feel like you're constantly loading up the pad with polish, which I really like. Also, the rinseless wash. I use it to dampen the pad. That way the polish even goes a little further. Also, it's great for breaking down the polish during the wipe down, just making way less work at removing the polish off the panel, which it's already easy to do anyway. That just makes it even easier. And while we're talking about it, have a bunch of these good double nap towels. Thin nap on one side, thicker, rougher nap on the other. That gives you options when you're wiping it down. Maybe you want the thin side, maybe you want the thicker side. It just gives you a lot of options. And have plenty of them, because what you don't want is a polished full towel smearing it around. Once you get to the point where you feel like you're moving product around ineffectively, put that towel down and grab another one. So you're going to need quite a bit of these to polish a whole car. And always a good high quality all-purpose microfiber towel is always nice to have around. So with no further delay, let's get polishing this car. So based on the size of this door, I'm going to work about half of it here just to make sure I get it good. I'm looking at it in the detailing lights, and there's a little bit of streaky stuff on there. You can tell that they washed it with some bad products at the dealer, tried to wipe it down, get it looking good for me. I wish they wouldn't have done that, but hey, whatever. We're going to take care of it here in a second. First, we'll start by dampening the pad. Just a spritz of the polish, 1 or 2, and maybe 1 more depending on the size of the space you're working in. I like to spread the polish out over the area that I'm going to work. The goal here when I first get started, I don't want to be slinging polish everywhere. I want to do a real low RPM, move the polish around, then I'll do my crosshatch pattern and go from there. So low RPM, just spreading product. No downward pressure at all. Now that I got the product on the panel and spread out, it's time to run it up. I'm going to be using about a 3.5 on the speed, slower speed, and just take my time and work the panel. No downward pressure whatsoever, just the weight of the machine. Careful around other stuff. I'll lock in that speed so I don't have to hold the trigger. Nice and slow, we're not in a hurry. Try to keep the pad flat onto the panel. overlapping my strokes by about, I don't know, 20%, 30%. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nice slow pass. So that polish spreads around like butter. I can't say it enough. And boy, it really goes the distance. It just stayed lubricated and nice the whole time. No need to put too much product on there. So let's go ahead and give it a wipe down. Just real gentle here. We can even use some rinseless to help break it down. I like to do that too. Be real gentle on the paint. We just put a lot of effort into this. We don't want any scratching at this point. Real light pressure. Now that we got the bulk of the polish off, go ahead and flip the towel and just real light, I mean real light buffing. So we wrapped up the polishing, and I'll tell you what, it looks absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with it. It's some of the shiniest red paint I've seen, and it's gonna look really good when we get that ceramic coating on it. But we do have one more step in the process, and you're probably wondering, where's the panel prep? Where's the rinseless wash? Where's all the normal stuff you've been using all day long? Well, I'll tell you what, it's a whole different gig now. Now I'm using a product from C6 Ceramics app, Adhesion Promoter Polish. This kind of doubles as a panel prep for their product line. And essentially what it does is it goes on the paint, it kind of prepares the clear coat to accept the ceramic coating, and man, it really helps lock it in. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's some things about using it. You don't want to use your Rupes long throw polisher or any similar product. You want to use a short throw palm sander, and I'll tell you what, look at this little baby I found. Milwaukee 5-inch palm sander. This thing is awesome. Variable speed. This is a must-have. So the way you do it, you don't use rinseless wash to dampen the pad. You just go straight dry pad, couple dots on here, maybe an extra one on your first application. But once the pad gets primed, all you're trying to do is move the product along the panel. You're not trying to do any scratch removal or any polishing, and you just need to be able to see product moving around on the panel. Once it starts to not be moving product effectively anymore, add another dot or two, but you don't need to cake it. Keep a minimum amount on there and do an entire door, an entire fender, and then follow behind with a dry microfiber towel. We're not using rinseless to break it down either. It's a dual nap towel. Pick a side, whatever's working best for you in your climate, and just really light buffing now. We don't want to introduce any marring or scratching. This stuff comes off really easy. I was absolutely impressed and surprised with it. It just basically fell off the paint. So no issues there, zero stress. And I'll tell you what, the paint is good and primed and ready for the ceramic coat. But first, let's see this stuff in action. Yes, that's what I've been waiting for. C6 Ceramics Hydro. This is a lifetime coating. Man, it's one of the most hydrophobic coatings on the market, guaranteed. It has the detonated nano diamonds. So you know it's going to be glossy. It's going to have that shine. It's going to bead water like crazy. They have two different versions. One is for improved gloss and shine. It kind of tends to favor more towards that. I got the hydro version because you know I'm into the water beads. And this is the most beading thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's going to be really sick. Wait till you see the end result. C6 Ceramics is putting out now professional grade product line, which means you have to be qualified on the product, have some sort of detailing business. Talk to Ivan personally if you want to bring it into your shop. It was the easiest ceramic coating I've ever installed. It wiped right off and was just absolutely a real pleasure to use. No problem there. But let's talk about the difference between professional grade and consumer grade. These are good too. This one's an 8-year. Man, that is more than enough. I mean, 8 years on your car, that's plenty. You're going to want to get rid of it by then anyway. The biggest difference between professional and consumer. Professional, after about 30 minutes, if you happen to miss some product on the panel, man, you are going to be polishing it off. That's the bottom line. So here's my technique. I start in a small area. I apply the product. I come back, wipe it off. I get a hang for it. How easy is it to apply? How easy is it to wipe off? And then as the process goes on, man, with this stuff, I was able to increase the area. I was doing almost like an entire door, coming back, wiping it down very easily. I do my first wipe. Start with new towels, you know. I do my first wipe on one side, then I turn it around and I take like a side glance with the good detailing lights. That's key. You gotta have good lighting. I'm looking for any high spots, a light rub to address it, and then I flip it over again and I do one final insurance wipe just to make sure. These are all light wipes. It comes right off. We don't want to be digging into the paint, but we just want to make sure we don't leave any product behind. So all in all, easiest one I've ever installed, best results I've seen yet. I'm really excited about it. So for people that are just consumer versions, C6 Ceramics is going to put out a consumer version. It's coming out real soon. I got some here on the way. Once it's available to the public, I'll be putting it on to the Model 3 out there, another one of my personal rigs. And you guys know if I'm putting this on my personal rigs, obviously, we all have access to every product line out there, and what I'm deciding to put on my personal cars, man, I'm telling you, is the good stuff. That's just the end of the story on that. So I'll be doing that in the future. Showing you the consumer model. I highly suggest that you guys consider these if you're up for a ceramic coating. And if you're a pro, reach out to Ivan, get certified, get some in your shop. You're gonna love it, man. That's just the bottom line on that. But without any further delay, let's get started on the ceramic coating and let's get this done. I want to show you those results. Next up, interior. What makes a good interior cleaner? Ah, man, that smells good. It's got to smell good. I don't want any bad smelling stuff. I mean, all things are equal. I want it to smell good. Also, it should wipe on easy, wipe off easy with no streaks. And it should leave a matte finish. I don't want a glossy Armor All-like look in the car. And this product does it all. So this is my favorite product of the season. DIY Detail Interior Clean and Protect. Really good stuff. I'll be applying it with a large Detail Factory brush. You know I like this thing. It's soft, it's plush. Do you really need that? No, it's a luxury. You can just apply it with a microfiber towel. You know my interior towels, I like blue, dual nap, thick on one side, thin on the other, give you the best of both worlds. And then for the small, intricate stuff, I use the Detail Factory small brush. Really soft bristles, not gonna scratch anything. Making your life easy, that's what I'm all about. Let's get into it. One more product for that interior that I like is mixing up my own all-purpose cleaner. Now there's a bunch of different brands on the market, but my favorite right now, Koch Chemie Green Star. This stuff works amazing. I mix my own up. Over on my website, HawaiiDetailing.com, I got a dilution ratio calculator that I put in there for you guys with all my favorite dilution ratios so that you can confidently mix these up. Just be careful. Straight, this stuff is gnarly and can kind of eat away at some of the more delicate surfaces. And you got to have a good spray bottle. This thing looks insane. I like it, works great, and let's get those pedals cleaned up. Another really neat product to have in your arsenal is interior ceramic. Now, what is this for? This is for spraying on carpets, fabrics, plastics, pretty much anything on the interior. I don't recommend glass or anything like that. It's just not necessary. And the design of the product, it's made to go on basically on carpets and fabrics. You just spray it on and let it sit there. It dries. On plastics, I like to spray it on, wipe it down with a microfiber towel. It disappears. There's no evidence of it on there. But then when you spray water on it, the beading is insane. Later, when you come back to clean it, things just wipe right off. And you'll notice carpets, you can almost clean stuff with just a wet towel at that point. And if you did have to do something deeper, like you spilled a coffee, it's just going to come out of the fabric so much easier with this level of protection on there. So of course, we're going to ceramic coat the interior. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. I know it was a long one. I appreciate it. I'll have links to everything in the description. If you have any questions about anything that took place in this video today or any of the products I'm using, leave a comment down below. I enjoy answering the comments. Also, over on my website, there's much deeper explanations to everything. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah.